Hey guys, welcome back to your channel. So in this video I wanted to show you guys smart vectors in Nuke and how we can actually use them. So this is the footage I took from Action VFX. It's just a guy walking, so we only have till 188. I'll just change that. So what we're gonna do on this is put something on his t-shirt. When it comes to things that deform, you can see like when he's walking, his t-shirt actually deforms in like different ways. We can't really do a 2D track. I mean, we can do a 2D track, but it will track only three things: so transform, rotate, and scale. But it's really impossible to like get those deformations. In these kind of cases, we can use smart vectors inside Nuke. Very automated process. You don't really have to do anything, so we can just directly take the smart vector here. We can go here and we can just keep this to like the default settings. If this is like a very stable shot, like how this is right now, we don't have lots of camera movement, it's just him walking. If the shot has too much of movement, we need to increase the vector detail so it calculates it even better. You can directly just go to export right. The smart vector basically calculates every pixel and how it moves in each frame. So let's say for example this specific pixel here, so we can click that and then it just calculates where it moves on the previous frame and the next frame, so something like that. It's gonna take a while. All we have to do is just attach this node. Want it to be faster, you can always add a roto to this. So in this case we only want data for him, so you can always add a roto for him. So we can actually view from the smart vector to see like what do we have. So we can just directly go and write this out and we just render it out. It takes like 3 minutes maybe. So while this is running, I just went and quickly took a logo. So let's just try to add like a print on this t-shirt, just like a PNG. Smart vector is done now. I mean, if you keep it in RGBA, it's going to be black, but we can see the other layers here. We have data in this. It's also bring the two things which I just got. I think this doesn't have an alpha, so I'm just gonna quickly take the alpha for this. This is separate. We're just gonna bring the plate again, put this on top. It works very similar to like a 2D track. Keep like a reference frame, so let's just keep it as frame 1. Scale this down to match the size and everything. So I'm just gonna keep it like this. So we have the reference frame now. So for us to use the smart vector, we're gonna bring another node called vector test dot. So this has two inputs, the source and the smart vector. So in this case, the source is the line here, and then we attach the smart vector to the smart vector and view it from here. And the reference frame is already 1. If you're gonna choose something else, we need to set that here. Whole frame is basically like a frame hold. We're already using an image, so it's not a problem for us. If it's a really fast moving shot, we need to keep it to 1 frame. Warps it like every 1 frame. If it's not moving a lot, experiment and choose, find out like which is like the best result. If we try to play this now, it's calculating all those vibrations and like the jitter and everything from the t-shirt. As you can see, it's all messed up right now. We can try to adjust this. You can even try like 1 frame. It's getting completely messed up with 1 frame, so definitely not 1. If the track is good and if it's not working well, I think we can just go back, go to the smart vector, increase this all the way to 1, render this out again so that the quality is better. So it still kind of looks like all warped and everything. Vector detail to 1. So I think instead of keeping 1 as the reference frame, I think we can, because we're like scaling it down a lot, I think it's losing detail. So instead of that, we can probably choose like an end frame, line it up here, go back here, choose this as the reference frame, and see like if this works. We can do that frame because it's getting cropped. Keep it as 125 maybe, so that it's fully visible. If you want to just like take a look at it like real time, we can directly connect it to the smart vector and see. But the thing is like we cannot actually play it, it's super heavy, so we can just check like 1 frame or something like that. We can also adjust the strength accordingly, so if you are getting like better results. But this is entirely is like an experiment and you need to put in like different values to see like which works better. We can also use the blur size to reduce the jitter of the map. So now you can see it's pretty smooth. that is like the basic idea to use the smart vectors. We don't actually have like lots of control other than adjusting these values here. It's very specific, like you cannot actually use smart vectors in like most of the places. This is a good example because as you can see, like it does warp and do all that according to how he moves. In this case, for example, if he actually rotates his body, the smart vector actually breaks. You need to really know like when to use this. That is the most important thing. It only takes like few minutes to set this up, but do like a little bit of comping to this. So that's it for the smart vector tutorial. It's very simple. It's a very simple tool, very easy to set up, but can very easily break too. I'll put the links for the footage and also the PNG in the description. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys with another tutorial. Thank you guys. Bye bye.